Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be taking a look at a Rolex Daytona, this one in white gold with a bright black dial, diamond hour markers, and Arabic numerals for the 15, 30, and 45 minutes or seconds, depending on how you look at it, with an oyster bracelet, all white gold again. Reference number 116509. I'll be going over the case, the dial, the bezel, the crown functions, and the pusher functions, the movement, and the bracelet, and I'll be giving you my thoughts on these throughout the video. So starting off with the case, you have the standard 40mm case from finger to thumb. That's from the 2 to 8 o'clock position. Same as the 10 to 4 o'clock position, just ignore the pusher, and that's basically your case size, 40mm. You have the monoblock middle case with the screw down case back and the Rolex winding crown to ensure water resistance down to 100 meters or 330 feet below sea level. You also have the trip lock waterproofness system, so when you unscrew the crown, you'll see some extra rubber gaskets to make sure that you certainly have that actual water resistance down to 100 meters or 330 feet below sea level. Overall, you have a nice high polish finish on the entire case here, as you can see along the sides, as well as the fronts of the lugs here, evident on the front of the case as well. All right, and sitting on the front of the case, you also have a matching white gold bezel, basically a combination of white gold and oyster steel to create a very, very highly lustrous material while also maintaining strength and durability. The tachymeter is also printed directly onto the bezel with a black lacquered finish there, and you have the triangular markings for every 10 or 5, depending on how you look at it, units per hour, depending on how you use it. And that's all based on the movement of the chronograph hand, center mounted. Taking a look here at the dial, you also have 8 diamonds in total for 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10 and 11 hour marks, with white gold settings and also white gold Rolex crown 15, 30, and 45 minute or second markers at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions respectively. You also have the subdials, a small seconds at the 6 o'clock position, 30 minutes at the 3 o'clock, and 12 hours at the 9 o'clock position for the chronograph. Now, taking a look here at the functions of this watch, just simply unwind the crown at the 3 o'clock, and this allows you to get to the first position. The first position allows you to just simply wind the watch. So about 20 to 30 full winds will get you to the full power reserve from a dead stop. Rather simple there. Pull the crown out to the only other position. It does stop that seconds hand and also by extension the center mounted chronograph hand. So you can then set the minute hand and by extension the hour hand precisely wherever it needs to go based on the position of that seconds hand. All right, and also once you have it nicely lined up with the seconds on with an atomic clock, press the crown back in and screw the crown back tightly against the case. I also need to mention here that I believe there's some chromalite on the hour and minute hands. Yes, there is. Just for the hour and minute hands, just a small detail that shouldn't be overlooked when you're, making a purchasing decision. And also the back of the sapphire crystal, nice and scratch resistant on the front of the case, does have a little bit of reflectivity, so you can actually see a bit of the chromalite shining through sort of back underneath or back onto the dial and seemingly coming out from underneath the minute hand and the hour hands there. All right, now turning the lights back on, we can also take a look at the chronograph functions. Nothing too new here, basically the standard Rolex fare. Simply unwind the chronograph pushers at the 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock positions. All right, and then press the top button to engage the chronograph hand center mounted. Once it reaches the 12 o'clock hour mark, the subdial at the 3 o'clock will take up 1 minute. So basically I have about 40 or, well, less than 20 seconds now until it gets to that point. And as you can see, once it sweeps past 12, it ticks up by 1 for a single minute. Press the top button again to stop it, and then you can press the bottom button to reset the chronograph hand as well as the subdials. So that's basically how that works. If you plan to keep it running, you actually can, and actually control the time on your own terms. Ignore the small seconds hand and use the chronograph hand as your large center seconds so that you can basically control the basically the time entirely on your own terms. And therefore, just make sure to keep the winding crown, or the winding, or rather the screw locks on the chronograph pushers nice and tightly wound in to maintain that water resistance. So what makes all of this work? It is the movement made in-house by Rolex, the 4130 manufacturer Rolex. It has a plus or minus 2 second per day time differential precision after casing, giving you the superlative chronometer certification as printed on this and every other Rolex dial. It gives you the center hour, minute and seconds hands, and the small seconds hand at the 6 o'clock chronograph, center mounted, accurate within 1/8 of a second, the 30-minute counter at the 3 o'clock, and the 12-hour counter at the 9 o'clock. It also has the stop seconds for precise time setting, all those features I had just gone over. It also has a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring on the inside for the oscillator. You can't see through the case back, but you do have your white gold's content worth there, so you're certainly getting what you pay for. You also have the blue parachrome hairspring protecting against potential magnetism, such as from circuitry and light magnets like your refrigerator and things like that. So basically, you can be sure that this will be keeping track of time, no problem. It also has a bidirectional self-winding through a perpetual rotor center mounted on the inside of the case. So that basically means that once you have this watch wound manually, you can just wear it on your wrist, and the natural movements of your wrist will wind that rotor around, which then winds the mainspring barrel, which charges the watch's power reserve. The power reserve, approximately 72 hours on this model, so that's literally 3 whole days. You can set it down on a Friday evening. You can pick it back up Monday morning next week, ready to conduct business. No need to wind the watch. Just wear it all day Monday and you'll be good and up to the full power reserve. Now, taking a look here at the bracelet, you have the Oyster 3-piece links going across, complete with my fingerprints down the high polish portions down the center and satin brush finishings on the outside. High polish along the sides of those links, and there's a general taper down to the Oyster safety clasp, also in white gold. Same finish as with the bracelet. Simply lift the bottom of the crown to open the safety lock, and the top of the latch there to open it up. You have the Rolex stamp logo on the inside and some hallmarks to show that you're certainly dealing with rare metals, in this case white gold. The added benefit of the Oyster folding clasp is that you have the EZ-Link 5mm extension, meaning that you can basically, have this sized perfectly to your wrist, and on a hot summer's day, or say you just pounded 3 liters of water, your wrist is going to swell naturally, and it just happens to everyone. Imperceptible, but you'll certainly feel it with a watch on your wrist. So if that ever happens, just reach under here, pull it straight out, and there you go, another half Oyster link just to wear it nice and comfortable. And when you no longer need it, just simply fold it back in on itself, snap it back into the clasp there, and you're good to go. And while I'm here, I'll also try it on and give you my thoughts as to how it wears on my wrist, 7 inches in circumference. So you'll already know, at least from my videos, that I personally prefer 36mm watches, but the Daytona is basically made for anyone to wear, and that's certainly the case. Even though the case is 40mm, the integrated bracelet does give it a little bit extra room to shine, basically, when you're looking at it face on. A nice framing from 12 to 6 o'clock sides of the bracelet, and also a very nice clear view of that dial, even though the dial itself could be a little bit busy when you sort of get down to the small details, but when you're actually glancing at it at a reasonable distance, like as you normally would, it's actually incredibly easy to read. The diamond hour markers make it so that you can basically read the hours, and the subdials make it very incredibly easy to read as well with the super high contrast. So as long as you have light, it's very easy to read, and even without the light, you have a good sense of the time as well with the Chromalight feature on the hour minute hands. Now, taking a look down the arm here, you also have a general, kind of a light hug of the lugs onto the wrist. If your wrist is more flat, it will sit very nicely. If your wrist is more round like mine, then it's not that big of a deal. It'll just be lifted up a little bit. You'll have a little bit extra breathing room basically, but there won't be any overhang issues with that, at least when you have a 7-inch wrist. If your wrist is smaller and you take out more links, then you'll have a potential tiny bit of overhang, but usually the Rolex engineers have made it such that the curvature of the outside of these lugs do hug the wrist quite nicely. All right, so taking a look here also at this, the bracelet on the wrist, feels very nice, incredibly sporty as well, with a tiny bit of space among all of these links with basically zero tolerance. Rolex makes it so that basically the entire life of this watch, the bracelet will never actually pinch your skin, it won't pull hairs out, it will be nice and comfortable and it vents the wrist quite nicely. So you can actually wear this all day should you so desire. So again, taking a look here, incredibly easy to read, very comfortable to wear and certainly stylish. With the white gold construction here, it's definitely, you know, not the lightest watch, but when you're wearing it, it sort of doubles as a sort of like a steel watch entirely, but you know, you can only get certain configurations with the white gold construction, and this being one of them, you know, certainly one to look out for with the diamond hour markers, certainly, and it makes it shine just a little bit more with that white gold presence, and the heft to it makes you know, well, it makes it so that you know that you're getting your money's worth certainly on your wrist. It also slides very nicely under a suit cuff and obviously under a jacket sleeve, no problem. So that's about it. That's all I got to say about this watch. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. What you think about this Rolex Daytona in white gold with a black dial, 8 diamonds, with a black dial, of course, with the 15, 30, and 45 minutes or seconds, depending on how you look at it, in white gold at the 3, 6, 9 o'clock positions with the Oyster bracelet, of course. Reference number 116509. Let us know what you think down below. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit our store at jazztime.com. Links in the description below, where you can get it for the lowest possible price anywhere online. If this one happens to sell and we don't have another one on our desk, we'll find one for you, no problem. Thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you in the next video.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.